Have you ever met someone who just seems to understand you on a soul level? That person who remembers how you take your coffee, knows exactly when you need a hug without asking, and creates spaces where you instantly feel at home. Chances are, you've been blessed to know a Cancer. Born between June 21st and July 22nd, these watery-hearted individuals are the emotional caretakers of the Zodiac, the ones who keep our world tender in ways we often don't notice until we really need it. What makes Cancers so special isn't just their famous nurturing nature, it's how they weave compassion into every interaction without ever making it feel like a burden. While fire signs blaze with passion and air signs dazzle with intellect, Cancers work their magic in quieter, deeper ways. They're the ones who remember your grandmother's birthday after she's gone, who show up with your favorite comfort food after a bad day, who love so fiercely it actually changes people. In a world that often prizes toughness over tenderness, Cancers remind us of the incredible power in softness. Today we're going to explore the 14 remarkable qualities that make Cancer the most emotionally intelligent and admired sign of the Zodiac. These aren't just surface-level traits, but profound gifts that affect everyone lucky enough to have a Cancer in their life. From their almost psychic intuition to their unparalleled ability to create safety and belonging, by the time we're done you'll understand exactly why these lunar-ruled souls hold such a special place in our hearts, and maybe you'll see the Cancer in your life with new appreciation. 1. Unmatched empathy. Cancers don't just sympathize, they fully embody what you're feeling in a way that's almost mystical. Their empathy isn't performative or surface level, it's a deep, visceral understanding that allows them to meet people exactly where they're at. When you're hurting, a Cancer doesn't just offer generic platitudes, they mirror your emotions back to you in a way that makes you feel profoundly seen and validated. This gift stems from their watery nature, which gives them an extraordinary ability to navigate emotional currents that would overwhelm others. What's truly remarkable is how Cancers use this empathy to create healing spaces. They're the friends who can sit with you in your darkest moments without trying to fix anything, because they understand sometimes people just need to be witnessed. They're the partners who remember exactly which tone of voice soothes you when you're anxious. In professional settings, this makes them extraordinary mediators and caregivers. But perhaps most beautifully, Cancer empathy extends beyond humans. They're often the ones who bond deeply with animals or feel affected by the energy of spaces, because their emotional receptors are always tuned to the frequency of life around them. 2. Nurturing to their core. If nurturing were an art form, Cancers would be the master painters. Their care isn't just about meeting basic needs, it's about anticipating desires people haven't even voiced yet. A Cancer doesn't simply ask if you've eaten, they remember your favorite childhood dish and recreate it when you're feeling lost. They're the ones who notice you shivering before you do and appear with a sweater, who stock their guest room with your preferred toiletries before you visit. This nurturing instinct goes far beyond physical care, they tend to hearts and psyches with equal devotion. What makes Cancer nurturing so extraordinary is its personalized nature. They don't believe in one-size-fits-all comfort. Instead, they study their loved ones like sacred texts, learning exactly which form of care each person needs most. For some, it's practical help, doing laundry when you're overwhelmed. For others, it's emotional labor, listening without judgment during late-night talks. And for many, it's their almost magical ability to create environments that feel like emotional sanctuaries. Walking into a Cancer's home often feels like stepping into a hug, because they intuitively understand how spaces can heal. In a world that often values independence over interdependence, Cancers remind us how beautiful it is to care and be cared for. 3. Fiercely loyal. When a Cancer commits to someone, that bond becomes part of their emotional DNA. This isn't a fair-weather loyalty that fades when circumstances change, it's a deep, enduring connection that withstands time, distance, and even occasional conflict. Cancers approach relationships with a protectiveness that would put mother bears to shame. Once you're in their inner circle, they'll defend you when you're not present, remember your triumphs decades later, and show up for you in ways that redefine what it means to have someone in your corner. This loyalty manifests in both quiet and dramatic ways. On the subtle end, it's the Cancer who keeps your secrets like sacred vows, who notices when you're not yourself and gently checks in. On the more visible side, it's the Cancer who will literally rearrange their life to support you during a crisis, who will stand between you and anyone who means you harm. What makes this loyalty especially precious is that it's never transactional. Cancers don't keep score. They love because loving is their nature, not because they expect anything in return. However, those who betray a Cancer's trust learn the hard way that their softness has boundaries. While forgiveness is possible, that deep sense of safety is nearly impossible to fully regain. 4. Intuitively psychic. Cancers often seem to operate on a different sensory frequency than the rest of us. Their intuition isn't just good, it borders on precognition at times. This lunar-ruled sign picks up on subtle energetic shifts that others completely miss. A Cancer can walk into a room and immediately sense tension that hasn't been voiced, or know something's wrong with a loved one before the phone even rings. Their psychic abilities extend to anticipating needs. They're the ones sending exactly the right text at exactly the right moment, or showing up with exactly what you needed before you asked. This intuition stems from their deep connection to the moon's cycles and their extraordinary emotional intelligence. Cancers don't just notice surface behaviors, they read between the lines of tone, body language, and energy patterns. What's fascinating is how this gift often manifests in practical ways. A Cancer business owner might have a gut feeling about which product will resonate before seeing sales data. A Cancer parent can distinguish between different types of silence in their child. While they can't always explain how they know what they know, those close to them learn to trust their hunches. In a world that often prioritizes logic over instinct, Cancers remind us that some of the most important knowledge comes from places we can't always articulate. 5. Home is their masterpiece. For Cancers, home isn't just where they live, it's an extension of their heart and a sanctuary they craft with intentional love. Unlike signs that see dwellings as mere functional spaces, Cancers approach homemaking as an art form. Their spaces, whether a sprawling house or a tiny studio apartment, radiate warmth and personality in ways that instantly put visitors at ease. Every detail, from the throw blankets to the lighting to the way spices are organized, reflects thoughtful consideration. What makes Cancer homes special isn't decor trends or square footage, but the palpable sense of belonging they cultivate. This domestic magic stems from their understanding that physical environments affect emotional well-being. A Cancer knows which chair you'll find most comforting, arranges seating to foster connection, and creates little moments of beauty that uplift daily life. Even their organizational systems have heart, their pantries feel abundant rather than austere, their collections tell stories rather than just fill shelves. For Cancers, homemaking is ultimately an act of love. They derive deep satisfaction from hosting gatherings where people leave nourished in body and soul, or from creating cozy corners where loved ones can recharge. In our increasingly rootless world, Cancers preserve the sacred art of making space for human connection. 6. Creative souls. Cancers channel their profound emotional depth into extraordinary creative expression. Ruled by the moon and its ever-changing phases, they possess rich inner landscapes that naturally seek artistic outlets. Many legendary storytellers, musicians, and visual artists are Cancers because this sign has an unparalleled ability to translate universal feelings into art that resonates across time and culture. Their creativity often explores themes of memory, family, nostalgia, and the human heart's complexities, subjects they understand with rare intimacy. What sets Cancer creativity apart is its emotional authenticity. They don't create for shock value or trends, but to communicate truths that can't be conveyed through straightforward language. A Cancer songwriter infuses lyrics with specific yet universal emotion. A Cancer chef plates dishes that taste like childhood memories. Even in non-artistic fields, they bring imaginative solutions to problems by drawing on emotional intelligence. Their creative process tends to be cyclical like the moon, periods of intense output followed by necessary retreat. While they may not always recognize their own talent, Cancers are famously self-critical, their work often becomes touchstones for others navigating similar emotional terrain. In a world that sometimes treats feelings as inconveniences, Cancer creativity reminds us of our shared humanity. 7. Protective like a mama bear. Beneath Cancer's soft exterior lies an incredibly powerful protective instinct. When someone they love is threatened, physically, emotionally, or otherwise, these normally gentle souls transform into formidable defenders. This isn't aggressive posturing but a deep, primal commitment to safeguarding their chosen family. Cancers perceive potential dangers with uncanny accuracy, often sensing toxic people or risky situations before problems arise. Once their protective mode activates, they'll strategize, advocate, and if necessary, fight with surprising ferocity for those in their care. This quality manifests in both everyday and extraordinary ways. It's the Cancer parent who intuitively knows which classmates might bully their child and prepares them with coping tools. The Cancer friend who researches your medical condition when you're too overwhelmed to do it yourself. The Cancer employee who shields their team from unreasonable demands. What makes Cancer protection so effective is its combination of emotional intelligence and practical action. They don't just offer sympathy, they create actual safety nets. However, they're also wise enough to step back when their loved ones need to fight their own battles, providing support without overstepping. In a challenging world, Cancer's protective nature reminds us that true strength often wears a gentle face. 8. Emotionally brave. Cancers demonstrate a form of courage that often goes unrecognized, the bravery to feel deeply in a world that frequently rewards emotional detachment. While some mistake their sensitivity for fragility, nothing could be further from the truth. It takes remarkable strength to remain open-hearted after being hurt, to sit with uncomfortable emotions rather than numb them, and to create space for others to be vulnerable. Cancers lead by example in normalizing emotional authenticity, showing that true resilience includes tears as well as laughter. This emotional courage allows them to navigate difficult conversations and life transitions with rare grace. Where others might avoid conflict or suppress painful feelings, Cancers understand that healing comes through acknowledgement and processing. They're often the first to say, "I'm hurting," in relationships, not as manipulation but because they know honesty is the only path to true connection. In professional settings, this makes them exceptional leaders during crises. They don't pretend everything's fine when it's not, which builds trust. Perhaps most inspiring is how Cancers use their emotional bravery to help others. They'll sit with you in your darkness not because they have all the answers, but because they know sometimes people just need witness to their pain. In our often emotionally avoidant culture, Cancers remind us that facing feelings is where real growth happens. 9. Memory keepers. Cancers possess an extraordinary relationship with memory that goes beyond simple recall. For them, remembering is an act of love, a way to honor relationships and preserve meaningful moments. Their minds retain not just facts but sensory details and emotional textures, the way light fell through the window during an important conversation, the exact outfit someone wore on a special day, the particular laugh someone used to make. This makes them living archives for their families and communities, the ones who keep stories alive across generations. What makes Cancer's memory so special is how they use it to nurture connections. They're the relatives who know everyone's birthdays without Facebook reminders, the friends who reference meaningful moments you'd forgotten to show how far you've come. Their homes often contain carefully curated memory objects, photos, ticket stubs, inherited recipes, that create continuity between past and present. This gift sometimes manifests as nostalgia, but it's never mere dwelling on the past. Instead, Cancers understand how remembering shapes identity and belonging. In our fast-paced, forward-rushing culture, they preserve the essential human art of treasuring where we've been as part of who we are. When a Cancer shares a memory with you, they're not just recalling an event, they're offering a piece of their heart. 10. Generous to a fault. Cancers practice generosity as their default language of care. Their giving isn't about grand gestures or social media displays, but a steady stream of thoughtful offerings, the last piece of cake saved for you, the book they knew you'd love but couldn't afford, their time when you need it most. This generosity extends beyond material things to include emotional resources. They'll share hope when yours runs low, courage when you're afraid, patience when you're struggling. For Cancers, giving is as natural as breathing. What makes their generosity extraordinary is its deeply personalized nature. A Cancer doesn't give generic gifts, they pay attention to your unspoken wishes and needs. They're the ones who notice you admiring their scarf and secretly knit you one in your favorite colors. Who slip grocery money into your bag when they know you're struggling financially but too proud to ask. This generosity of spirit does come with one vulnerability. Cancers sometimes give to the point of exhaustion, needing to learn that self-care isn't selfishness. But at its healthiest, their giving creates beautiful cycles of mutual care that strengthen relationships. In a transactional world, Cancer generosity reminds us that the most meaningful exchanges can't be quantified. 11. Wise beyond their years. Cancers often possess an old soul wisdom that seems disproportionate to their age. This isn't book knowledge, though they may have that too, but emotional and interpersonal insight that typically comes only with decades of life experience. Even as children, many Cancers display an uncanny understanding of human nature and relationship dynamics that surprises adults. Their wisdom combines sharp intuition with hard-won lessons from their own emotional journeys, creating counsel that's both perceptive and compassionate. This quality makes them sought-after advisors in their communities. People instinctively bring problems to Cancers because they offer perspective that's both clear-eyed and kind. A Cancer can see through excuses and defenses to the heart of an issue, yet deliver truth without brutality. Their advice often focuses on long-term emotional health rather than quick fixes. They'll help you set boundaries, process grief, or rebuild self-trust. What's remarkable is how Cancers accumulate this wisdom without becoming jaded. They manage to be both realistic about human flaws and optimistic about our capacity for growth. In our age of information overload, Cancer wisdom reminds us that some of the most important knowledge comes from understanding the human heart. 12. Masters of comfort. Cancers have an almost magical ability to create comfort in any circumstance. Their gift isn't just about physical coziness, though they excel at that, but at soothing the soul. A Cancer can transform a sterile hospital room into a sanctuary with just a few thoughtful touches, or make a grieving friend feel held through simple presence. Their comfort style adapts to individual needs. For some it's warm cookies and soft blankets, for others it's quiet companionship during hard times. This mastery stems from their deep understanding of vulnerability. Cancers know that true comfort isn't about fixing or distracting, but about creating safety for authentic experience. They're the ones who bring tissues and chocolate after a breakup but don't pressure you to talk. Who make their guest rooms so welcoming you sleep better than at home. Who understand that sometimes comfort means practical help, doing dishes when you're overwhelmed or driving you to appointments during a crisis. In a world that often values productivity over rest and toughness over tenderness, Cancer's comfort skills remind us that softness is a superpower. 13. Secretly funny. Behind Cancer's nurturing persona lies a delightfully sharp and often self-deprecating sense of humor. Their comedy style tends to be observational, witty, and perfectly timed, less about punchlines and more about highlighting life's absurdities with affectionate insight. Cancer humor often has an emotional intelligence behind it. They know exactly when a well-placed joke can diffuse tension or lift someone's spirits without dismissing their feelings. What makes Cancer humor special is how it reflects their deep understanding of human nature. Their jokes often reveal universal truths about relationships, family dynamics, or emotional experiences that others recognize but haven't articulated. Many Cancer comedians and writers excel at blending humor with heart, creating work that makes audiences both laugh and feel understood. In personal interactions, their humor frequently serves as emotional glue, easing awkward moments, building connections, or helping loved ones through hard times with much-needed levity. While they may not dominate loud comedy scenes, those who know Cancers well appreciate how their quiet wit adds sparkle to daily life. 14. Love that lasts. When a Cancer loves, they build something meant to endure. Their approach to relationships is the opposite of casual. They invest deeply, remember details, and continually nurture connections over years and decades. Cancer love isn't about grand romantic gestures but the steady accumulation of small, meaningful acts that create unshakable bonds. They're the partners who leave love notes in your suitcase when you travel, who learn to make your mother's recipes, who stand by you during life's messiest phases. This enduring love style stems from their understanding that real relationships aren't fireworks but carefully tended fires. Cancers excel at the daily work of intimacy, checking in, compromising, forgiving, and choosing each other again and again. Their loyalty makes them phenomenal long-term partners, parents, and friends who only grow more devoted with time. What's beautiful is how Cancer love evolves while maintaining its core of safety and acceptance. They celebrate your growth while providing the emotional home base that makes risk-taking possible. In our era of disposable connections, Cancer's commitment to lasting love reminds us of the profound beauty in staying. After exploring these 14 remarkable qualities, it's clear why Cancers hold such a sacred space in our lives. Their emotional intelligence, nurturing spirit, and quiet strength create ripples of healing in an often harsh world. Cancers teach us that sensitivity isn't weakness but a profound form of courage, that remembering is an act of love, and that true power often resides in tenderness. As we conclude, take a moment to reflect on the Cancers you've known, the ones who made you feel seen, who created safe harbors in your storms, who loved you through your messy human journey. Their gifts often go unthanked because they give so naturally, but today we honor them. If you're a Cancer watching this, know your emotional labor matters more than words can say. And if you're lucky enough to love one, don't wait to tell them what they mean to you. In a world that needs more compassion, Cancers light the way. Hit like if you appreciate the Cancers in your life, subscribe for more Zodiac insights, and share in the comments, what's the most Cancer thing someone's done for you? Let's celebrate these emotional superheroes together.